I've noticed how often I say the words I'm good, not because I am, but because it's easier than explaining what's really there. I'm good has become a placeholder, a way to keep things moving, a way to stay functional, a way to avoid opening something I don't have the energy to carry right now. And the more I paid attention to it, the more I realized I'm good isn't always the truth. Sometimes it's just the safest answer. Welcome to the Scarred Sons podcast, where we dive into scars of life and the outcomes they shape. This podcast is a space for honest conversations about my journey, the lessons learned, the struggles endured, and the growth that followed, geared towards helping other sons with scars. We'll explore topics like personal development, mental and spiritual health, and the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Let's navigate these challenges together, one story at a time. Let's dive in. The views expressed on this podcast are based on my personal experiences and insights. I am not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional, and the content shared is not intended as a substitute for professional advice or guidance. Please consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your specific needs. I am not responsible for any decisions or outcomes resulting from the use of this content. What's up to all my scarred sons out there? I'm your host, Ty. Before we dive in, I want you to know this is a safe space. I'm not here as someone who has it all figured out, just a man willing to speak his truth. And if you carry scars, welcome home. This episode isn't about exposing anything. It's about noticing something we say without thinking about it. Something a lot of us use to get through conversations, responsibilities, and expectations. This is about the weight that hides inside two simple words. I'm good. I can't tell you how many times I've used this in so many different scenarios. Let's break this down and let's talk about it. First question is, when did I'm good become my default answer, even when it wasn't true? It's difficult for me to tell you when, because I feel like I've been using I'm good for a long time in different tonalities to make it fit into the context of whatever the conversation may have been at the time. If I had to date this back, I swear I've been using I'm good, maybe teenage years, maybe young adult years. I don't know. I just know it's been a long time of having that word in my vocabulary or that phrase in my vocabulary. And I feel like I've learned it even more because when I was asking my friends or my dad or all the male figures in my life, they always say they were good, but it never really opened up any dialogue. It never really came to a point where like I should open up and tell you more about the day. I never even knew that was an option because the thing to say was I'm good. And so there was never a point in me to give you more info. I was never given that space to say something more on the lines like I'm dealing with it. I'm taking it one day at a time. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. Today's a great day. I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm gonna make it through. You know, another way to give some type of a context on how you're really feeling. You don't have to overshare, but it's a way to at least relieve yourself because guess what? That might be the icebreaker to open that person up. And now we in a full-fledged dialogue about what's going on and we're getting these things out and we don't no longer have to carry them around. I'm learning to do that now, but I learned to not do that long before today. Question number 2, what does saying I'm good protect me from having to explain? A lot of different things. It protects me from having to explain my emotional state, my financial status, my career aspirations, some of my ideas. Most of all, though, all of the things that aren't going right. You know, anything that I could be struggling with, I could be challenged with, or just some ideas that may sound out in left field, but I'm truly passionate about. You want to typically protect those things from getting into the wrong energy or getting into the wrong hands to mismanage those thoughts and derail them, impose fear upon them, or to just simply envy them. And it saved me from having to speak about my childhood traumas, my relationship with my parents and family members and my marriage, friendships and businesses. And it kind of is just a way to protect myself from people mismanaging or misunderstanding what I'm really going through in a day's time. And it's a fear. It's a fear of being understood. It's a fear of now I got to explain all of this for you to understand. There's multiple thoughts that run through our minds. It's like, is this person the person worthy enough for me to spend that amount of time with? Do they really care to begin with if I'm not good in the first place? Is this situation a safe space? Is it a space where if I tell you the things that I'm going through, are you going to weaponize those things against me in the future? It's a lot that goes on in a matter of seconds when we're deciding whether we want to divulge into information about what we're going through or not. Me personally, I'm very protective and very observant of the people. And if I told them this last time, how did they react to it? What did they do? And that stays with me. It doesn't go anywhere. And so now I know, okay, this is not the situation where I am to share. This is not the person that I need to give any of my personal information to, just because of how they treated the last opportunity. Let's move into question 3. What does it cost me to always be okay? I would say the biggest thing it costs me is just being emotionally drained, being drained to the point where you feel like you can't go anywhere to release for the things I deal with every day, which can ultimately cause stress and depression and lead you down some dark paths. And you're losing time from the brighter things, the positive things, the things that you can be shifting that energy with. And so you spin your wheels a little bit, in that phase of just kind of like being lost, or just not understanding what the future path or journey looks like. It's not that you're lost. It's more about you're kind of just meandering with this little situation, with this situation. I hate to use little. It's a process where you're thinking. It's a process that you're processing. It's a process that you go through, like if you were at the chalkboard brainstorming, you're just writing things down. It's just that it's all internally happening inside of the mind. A lot of things you lose, but it comes to a point where you pause, as we talked about in episode 7, pause before the change. You get to that pause state and you reflect and you refocus on the future. Question number 4. What would it feel like to answer honestly, even just once, without oversharing? I would say this would depend upon the audience that you have. If I'm in my work setting, I'm highly less likely to share or overshare or to share anything honestly. It's not a place that I trust, and that trust has been broken, not even with this employer, but I don't know if you understand, but there's an avatar that created trauma in our lives. And this avatar it's not the same face. It's just the behaviors, the triggers, the things that it presents take you back into your time of when you were triggered about this situation. So these avatars, even though they may be faceless, they show up with the same presentations of envy, just bad energy, being negative Nancy's. They drain you. They take away every ounce of good that they can get. They dump things on you. And so it doesn't matter if it happened at a previous job. Some of the new faces do and behave like some of the old ones. And so I just don't trust it. Essentially, that's what it is across the board. It's the trust that's been broken in the past that we have to slowly give you the opportunity to prove yourself different. And until that time presents itself, until we feel safe, it's kind of a lost cause. If I were to answer honestly, even just once, the time that I did was started in therapy where I could go in and have a full-fledged conversation. It ended up being oversharing because I wanted my therapist to understand all the inner workings, to set me up with the best strategies to be able to overcome my traumas. I could essentially say, like I just mentioned, I'm not feeling my greatest today, but I'm here. I'm going to put my best foot forward. That would be the amount of share I would give in a work setting. Typically, in a friendship setting, I do have the space to be able to share, but just anyone off of the street, that is a way that I change from saying I'm good to it's a little bit of a struggle today, man, but all things considered, I'm going to be fine. I will be okay. I'm not at my best right now, but I know my best has yet to come. I hope you can give that a try instead of saying I'm good, but I understand the audience matters. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with this. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying I'm good. Sometimes it's true, and sometimes it's just the best we can offer in that moment. But I'm learning to pay attention to when I'm good is a shield instead of a check-in, when it's keeping me moving instead of letting me be present. And maybe growth doesn't mean never saying those words again. Maybe it just means knowing when they're honest and when they're not. And if you're listening to this and I'm good is something you say a lot to, you're not weak, you're not broken, you're not antisocial, you're not just wanting to talk, you're probably just carrying more than you let on. I want you to know that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's respecting yourself and the boundaries that you have for yourself with unfortunate situations that have happened to you in the past. But I want you to know there is someone out there that you can share a little bit more with. Honestly, there's a lot of people out there. We're just looking for each other. And hopefully the Scarred Sons community that I'm attempting to build will do just that. But it all starts with us. It starts with us being strong internally to be able to share, to help the next scarred son that you walk past. The next time you feel safe, try not to say, I'm good. Try to give a little bit more. See where it goes. Move with caution. You don't have to overshare. See how it feels, and maybe you'll want to do it again. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace and love, y'all. Thank you for joining me on the Scarred Sons podcast. Remember, every scar tells a story, and every story has the power to inspire growth. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to reach out and share your journey. Don't forget to stay up to date with the podcast by liking, commenting, and subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at scarred_sons for more content and updates. Until next time, keep moving forward, keep healing, and remember, scars don't define you, they shape you. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.